Hey guys, welcome back to Mantalk.ke. This week is a very, very special episode. We're here in Smade Lounge here in London, and this is one conversation I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of value. Prior to us coming on camera, we've had some fantastic conversations off camera with the incredible Smade. I'm going to let Oscar do the proper intro because that is what he loves to do. So Oscar, tell him who's here today, buddy.
First of all, Nigeria, Kilon Shele.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bravo.
we are here at Smade Lounge with the serial entrepreneur, club promoter, absolutely the king of Afro beats, the brains behind a lot of the artists that we're seeing today, the fantastic Smade. Welcome to Mantalk.
What an introduction!
Welcome to Mantalk.
Welcome, bro.
Thank you.
It's I don't even know how to describe this moment. This has been, when we're coming to London, there are certain individuals who really jumped out in our list, and you were one of them. And the contributions that you've made to music, to African music, African culture, and what we've learned from you in your interviews, even prior to meeting you, has really driven us to come and have this interview. So welcome to Mantalk.
Thank you so much for, choosing me and for coming to Smade Lounge, our headquarters.
Thank you. So we usually jump in with the first question.
Okay.
Mantalk is a platform that is focused on positive masculinity.
Okay.
That's what we do. We're trying to dispel the whole rumor that like Africans have this toxic masculine trait. And for us, the first question that I have for you is, what's the most positive thing about you being a man today?
Wow. The most positive thing would be being a God-fearing man. That being God first and everything. So when you have that at the back of your head, you have a clean heart, you treat people nice, and everything else flourishes. Yeah.
The essence of our podcast, I think I mentioned to you off camera, is we're trying to build a bridge and have that avenue where guys can learn. Me and Oscar started this because we went through self-development, and we wanted to give people virtual mentors, people that have reached the peak and on their journey to greatness, which you have, and go through that journey as to how that 100%, undeniable,
Look at where we are.
undeniable.
I mean,
This is your tree.
Tree of life.
This is your tree.
Yeah.
Don't worry, next time you call me, be more better than
Even
this.
more tree with a blossom.
We'll have a lot of fruits.
Amazing.
bright
Just start picking up. So the idea is for somebody to get to a certain stage. There's a journey, there's a story, there's lessons, and we want to share that with the audiences because there might be a young Smade, 18, 19, 15, watching it, and you can impart some principles you've learned. So we want to take it back to the beginning and how your upbringing was and who your mentors was at the start, and how that's shaped your principles now going into your first ventures, and you as a teen, a young 20-year-old man. So what was the start of Smade? How was life at the beginning?
Wow, very interesting. Thank you. Very interesting question, and I like how the angle you've taken to ask that question, Eli. So my name is Adeshagun Adeoshan. Born in a family of 13, first son. So growing up was very tough, even though we had almost everything. But mom and dad were disciplinarians. They really well trained us well, I would have to say. So I spent the first 19 years of my life in Lagos. I went to boarding school. I was a blue house prefect boy. So I've always had responsibilities from a very young age. First son of all the 13 children, and I've got 2 elder sisters, so my rank is still up there. So I had to look after a lot of my younger ones. And then going to boarding school again, I was the blue house prefect, which made me in charge of almost 3,000 students in my final year. So including
You were a prefect.
house prefect. I was a house prefect. So it's like taking care of the entire hostel at a very young age of 14, 15.
Wow.
So the level of responsibility kept on growing over time. So I think at the age of 18, I came here on holiday, and I decided, I got inspired by, coming to America. Prince Akeem. My father was doing successfully well, in his business and life back home, and I wanted to create something for myself, recreate my own life. So when I came here, I loved everything about it, the multicultural aspect of London. You know, it wasn't cool, you know, like there was still a bit racism here and there, but I still felt like I could make an impact, you know, so I decided to stay. My father wasn't happy with that, so forcing me to self-fund myself while I was here, you know, because I really wanted to make something for myself. So I came here at the age of 18 going on 19. Like every young person at that age is still trying to find your path. It's trying to know who you are, you know, and what your purpose is. So, but reading helped me a lot. You know, I started reading a lot. I've been reading a lot from time. Like you said, virtual mentors. You know, I had a lot of virtual mentors. Nelson Mandela was one of them. Richard Branson, I've always admired from a distance. I've never met any one of them, but and then eventually I started reading about Barack Obama at a later stage. You know, so I have a lot of virtual, but most importantly, my father, you know, was someone that I looked up to so much, you know, and it appears in every young person's life, your foundation, you know, it really brings you out to tell who you are from your foundation. So my father taught me a lot, and I would like to say he's my biggest inspiration from business, from life principles, from, you know, building relationships, from everything I've, you know, ended up knowing, you know, as a kid. So coming here was really tough. You know, I self-funded my education, I went to college, studied media communications, and then I developed to my first degree. I studied marketing and advertising. You know, it was really tough, I would say. But I don't want to, because of time, I wouldn't break everything down. Then I went ahead to do my MBA. You know, so I did my MBA in marketing as well. But all of these times, you know, was the times when I thought, like, how can we make Africa big? How can we turn things around for us Africans? And I decided to put myself on the line to serve the culture, you know, to where we are right now. So I started off by doing house parties. You know, I was inviting a lot of people to my house. They get free food, free drink. They bring their own alcohol.
BYOB.
They bring their own alcohol. So I provide the music, and I was playing core Afrobeat, literally African music. So it became something that grew over time. A lot of people were interested because it was just like a niche. It was different. You know, it's not like going to West End or all that. So they come to my house, and the house party grew from being a very small house party where I use only one living room to me emptying my bedrooms and beds and everything to extending the house party to my bed. So it kept on going big, and it got so big that one day it was so busy that the neighbors were calling the police. You know, and the police came and said, "Why don't you take this to the clubs?" And for me,
so for the first time, the British police have contributed positively
to the culture. Shout out to that.
They have always contributed. See, whatever position you find yourself in life, you know, it's taking you to the next level. Is that you?
Yeah, it is.
We're going to find you. Keep this on camera. We're going to find Oscar.
No cuts.
Oscar is going to be fine.
I am so sorry, guys.
Put it on silent.
So sorry, guys.
Yeah.
No, it's probably your...
The package. They have George's number.
You can put it on silent.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry about that, guys. Let me just put it on silent quickly. So sorry. Put that back. No cuts.
It is what it is.
So I think I moved on to doing it in the club. You know, the clubs are already waiting for me because they've been hearing about this young kid that throws house parties. And the club was right opposite, on the other side of my house, you know, on Oakham Road. So when I got there, the first gig was so good. The guy came to me, the owner of the club came to me, and he said, "You know, you're really good at this, and you should do more. So do you want more dates?" So I took more dates, and it was just the beginning of Smade entertainment to the world. So to touch on what you said, I gain inspiration from of what you said. Actually, I gain inspiration from everybody and anything around me. You know, so it helps me grow outside of academic education. You know, life education as well is something that I don't leave behind. I learn from people's mistakes. I learn from their greatness, their successes. I love to, you know, like add value to myself from what I'm learning in life day to day. So I think that's the gift, and that's how we've managed to be here. So I've always wanted to impact, you know, the world culturally through our music, you know, through food, fashion, you know, through community, charity. I would like to say my life is charity, to be honest, because I've given myself a way to serve this beautiful culture.
That's definitely true, and I want us to now just take it back, because you've fast forwarded the story. you've put us on fast forward.
Okay, let's take it back.
I want us to take it
I'm
back.
happy to go back.
I want us to take it back to a name.
Okay.
And your name's Smade. You're making house parties, doing house parties. Were you known as Smade before these house parties, before this phase? Because there's a lot of power in Africa. We know our names are very powerful. How did the name Smade come about, and how did you internalize it and turn it into a brand?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good question. How did I turn it to a brand? So my father created Smade the year I was born, 1984, and he's into imports, exports. He does contracts. That's his company. It's called Smade Investment Limited. So as a young kid in boarding school, he had buses that had Smade written on it. So those buses used to come on visiting days, or you know, they used to bring my mom sometimes, and it's Smade written on it. So that name just stuck on everyone, all my mates or my senior. Oh,
so
Smade.
they see Smade, they know there's food in the dormitory.
So Smade became our family nickname. That everyone of my dad's children is Smade. But it stuck to me most because it's actually my initials as well. So it's the S is Shegun, the M is Mutiu, and the ADE is Adeosun. I've never said this anywhere, so this is
It's an exclusive, ladies and gentlemen.
Sound effect.
I mean, a few people know, but this is really exclusive on podcast, you know. And we're branding it to become what it is right now. When I got to London, I wanted a name that everybody could, you know, represent. You know, and so I was playing around with words, and I came about self-made. You know, successfully made, simply made, different things. So I play around with words. So I stuck with self-made because it means, you know, so much to me, that my journey, my story, everything I've always been working on and where I'm going. Self-made, you know, even though it sounds really, it sounds a bit somehow pride and you know, like, okay, don't you believe in God? Some people will ask, but God made it, you know, and I always put God first, you know, but you still have this thing in you that you have to use to push yourself. You know, like I always say, when I look at myself in the mirror, I see myself. You know, I see my mistakes, I see my flaws, I see my greatness, I see my successes. So how do I get better? That's me being self-made. You know, how do I want to be represented? So when everyone else picks self-made, it's who you are. You know, you can apply it to anyone. You know, how are you getting better? Your personal development, your career development, your relationships. How do you use all of these things? That's self-made. Because God is not going to come from heaven down here to, you know, help you do some certain things. You just have to build from here. So that's how the brand has now become a worldwide brand. And like I always say, pick a name that is big internationally. Out of Africa, you know, and Smade will be one of them because we've managed to penetrate every part of the world. In America, you know, in Africa, in Europe, and we're here, you know. So Smade is a brand that is into fashion, you know, is into beard oil, is into so many things, but I like to humble myself and just say we just learning.
Talk that talk.
Talk the
Talk the talk.
The
Talk the
podcast
talk.
is here for you.
Well, I'm still
Yeah.
looking for investors. And
Yeah.
I don't want to chase them away.
Link down below.
So, but Smade is a brand that is now become so powerful in the African community through the music and all the platforms I push. And everybody that I've managed to put on that come through me in entertainment, in real estate, in relationships, in different ways. I'm like a directory. If you need anything, you call Smade, I can hook you up. That's how Smade is now forever. I'm just a face, I'm just the leading server
Exactly.
of the brand.
There's something you said in your journey that you said so casually, but there's a lot of weight to it. The fact that you self-funded your education and you changed country at a young age with a vision to be at 18 to say, Dad, I'm staying here, I'm going to self-fund, I'm going to start my degree, I'm going to make a life for myself here. It speaks to a lot to me and Oscar specifically because you're doing a master's. That's what Oscar's doing in this country. And similar to me, I decided to move to Kenya just on my own as well, right? So I want to find out that kind of drive, that kind of direction, that kind of confidence at that age to know what you want to do. Like, how did that come about? Was it just something that was innate in you, or?
Well,
It's a big thing, man. Like, just moving country.
it's just your foundation. I've always been hardworking, so you must have it in you.
Yeah.
I've always been serving. Like, at a very young age, I used to just serve people drinks when they come visiting. And that grew in me, to building relationships, to keeping contacts, to understanding people's way of life, the differences, and that's why I said when I got to the UK, the multicultural, I was in love with the different cultures I was seeing, like people from different parts of the world living in one, one country. That was different to me. So I embraced that, and I just said to myself, I know who I am, and I just wanted to continue to show the world who I am. So when I came here, I did a lot of menial jobs, to be where I am today, to build myself. So while I was studying marketing and advertising, I was still throwing the parties, and to do the parties successfully, where was the funds coming from? It wasn't just from my menial jobs. It was also helping and supporting other businesses. So I was supporting those that were there before me, like the Cocoa Bars, like the Black Knights, so shout out to all of these people that inspired me as well, that added to my faith and believe in what I'm doing, because they were doing it and I gave myself away to them. Do you understand? I was delivering posters, tickets, doing all the work.
While you're being paid, or?
I wasn't being paid, and I can say yes. Those are things I did passionately. In fact, sometimes I was offered to be paid, and I would say no. So it's different. I knew that I wanted to do this. I wanted to learn. So when you're actually working somewhere and you're getting so much education from it, you're getting so much knowledge from it, it's beyond being paid, because you're already being paid.
I have to ask, because that specific thing speaks to your humility from such a young age, and because you're in a field where ego drives value sometimes. How do you remain grounded, and how do you stay so humble, and how did you carry that humility from that stage to where you are right now? Because that's what we felt the moment we stepped into your house.
First of all, understanding that you're not there yet. There's still a long way to go. But talking about humility is just something that, like I also said, my mom taught me everything about love, loving, helping, supporting, and that for me is something that is always going to be me. So it's just natural for me now. Talking about being humble, talking about serving, talking about loving. I have asked so much questions before this, that can you actually love someone that hates you? You know, can you serve someone that brings you down? You know, so those are the key things I use every day to move on, to understand that, you know, people are going through it, but you have to put yourself forward to absorb all those energy and spread love, give them more love. So I was a cleaner, I did care work, I was a security guard, I did I worked on shop floors, Next, Buttons, TK Maxx, Officers Club, and I built myself from being just a salesman to supervisor to assistant manager to, you know, I always have that drive in me, you know, to be great, you know, and I don't just go alone, I take people with me, you know, I always love to take people with me.
You've just mentioned that you worked in retail, and I did the same thing for a few years while I was at uni, and I personally found it probably one of the most humbling things. I worked in a sports store where some guys would actually throw trainers at you, get me in this size, get me in this size, and being able to just, you know, hold your ego and be like, it's okay, and having sometimes even a manager that's the same age as you, and you're being told by a certain person, do this, seeing how much the shop has made, how much you're paid. Do you feel like in the age we're in now, where a lot of people at the early 20s, they can kind of make revenue outside of doing these menial jobs, do you feel like it's key to have that kind of experience where you started on the shop floor for you to be able to now maintain success at a higher level? Do you think it's important at this stage?
Yes, very, very important, because there's so much make-believes online, on social media. So we need to teach, we need to let people understand, you know, that growing up is a process. You know, building is a process. You know, life's journey is a process. I can give you everything you need from me today if you're just a random person, but I'll be doing you no good if I'm not letting you go through the process. Do you understand? So I think everything I've mentioned is a process to my journey. That's why, you know, me being in my position now, being the head of Smade Lounge, being the co-founder of Afro Nation, doing a lot of shows, God has put me through that journey before being here. So understanding that process is key in one's life. So no matter what you're doing in life, it's always good to go through the process. Because if you get to the top without going through the process, you can just fall off.
Because now you've done
security, never come back.
It's like you've literally worked the door, you've worked the bathroom, and now you've got your lounge. So it's like the cleaner can't tell you anything. The security guard, they can't tell you anything. I've done it
because I've been there.
Exactly.
I've been a barman. You know, I've been a promoter, club promoter, to now being a club owner or venue owner. You know, so like the process is key.
So full stack. I want us to take it slightly. I want us to focus in on that process, that word.
Process.
So it's a difficult word for entrepreneurs to hear, and it's
also
also a difficult word for people who are working like 9-to-5 jobs. There comes a point where someone has to make a key leap, a key decision that means that they take a leap of faith, and a moment where you have to say, I believe in myself enough to take myself to the next level. I feel like you've had a lot of those moments, but I want us to, what was your first moment where you said, I'm betting big on Smade? I'm leaving behind, I'm not going to live in anyone's shadow. I'm going to be Smade, and I'm going to go for what Smade wants.
At different parts of my life, to be honest. Because you get doors shot at you multiple times. So what do? You either build yours or you break that door down, you know, and break it down with respect. Do you understand? Not just forcing it open, but walking your way to them saying, open that door for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, and if that door doesn't open, I build mine. I don't mind starting from scratch to get to the top. I don't mind. So that's the mindset of an entrepreneur. You should be able to start fresh and rebuild yourself. You know, and that's what helps me to build so many businesses, you know, and be able to try so many things. So I think to answer you is just, you know, understanding, once again, understanding who you are. So regardless of the no's or the doors shut on you, you know where you're going. You believe in yourself. You must always believe in yourself, because a lot of people are going to tell you you're doing it wrong, or they'll tell you things that are not aligned with your dream. So talking about dream, I use 5 Ds in my life: dream, drive, determination, discipline, and delivery. Those 5 Ds will help you shape your life. It will help you get to wherever you want. So I use that every day in my life for any businesses, for anything I want to try and do. And at the end of every dream, you can always start all over something new. So you can double up. So you
can double up.
You can
so
double
that's
up.
another D.
That's another D.
That's another D. So there's also dedication as well.
Yeah.
That also fits in there as well. There's dedication. So we have extra Ds. Double up, dedication.
Yeah.
So it's 7 Ds.
Yeah.
He's a postman. Although
Yes.
You can have up to 10.
Yeah.
But I think the 5 is good enough for everyone
Yeah.
because it's 5 fingers, you see.
Yeah.
Dream, you have to have a dream, everyone. You know, there's no limit to how much we can dream.
I mean,
When you stop dreaming, there's a problem.
I want us to focus in on what you do every day and how you've gotten.
You want to know my routine?
Yeah, I want to know your routine. I want to know
which side you wake up, left or right?
Which side you wake up? Because like, would you wake up and then it's Wizkid playing? Or
you would need to spend a few days with me because I can't keep up.
Oh, wow.
I can keep up. I'm so busy now that, you know, it's so amazing. I'm grateful for it. You know, because that's the only way you can get more. When you're grateful for your blessings. I'd never complain. You would never see me complain or say I'm tired. You know, even though sometimes we are tired. But when you say you're tired, then God might take all those blessings away from you. Do you understand? But if I'm grateful, it will teach me how to manage all my blessings, and it will also bless me with more. So that's the difference here. Putting God first and having the fear of having a good heart. And having the fear of God and put God first in everything you do. And everything just comes into place. I would love to say, I don't even know sometimes how I got here.
I know. The research is very clear.
But, you know, a young boy that believed. A young boy that works extremely hard. You know, a young boy that has been put down several times, so many times, but that takes no for an answer, that just wants to continue to serve. You know, so the act of service is priority to me. You know, like, I love serving the culture. I love putting people on. I love promoting. I love sharing, you know, talents, creatives, you know, businesses. I love helping. So that's who I am.
I'm seeing the end product, right? Every single time we're telling these stories. And personally in my life, I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I've consumed so much positive content. But sometimes in those dark moments, regardless of how much self-development you've done, you always, find it more powerful when I hear an exact kind of example of how somebody structured their way out of a dark place, right? So for me, like, I had just before I came to London, I run a small event in Nairobi, and before I came, it went badly. I'll be honest, it went badly the weekend before I came. And I was in a very, very, very dark place. I didn't have an exact reference point when it came to events, right? But without focusing on what happens, I want to focus on what happens as a person, as a man going through that, and the mental toll and how to get out of that. Because I feel like somebody watching again might be young, going for an exam season, for instance, and they've built up this idea of how something should go, and it doesn't go that way. But what are practical things that helps you get out of that dark place in a mental capacity?
Focus. 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 Keep your focus on, and that's the way. Like, unless you don't believe in what you're doing. In my life, I've failed so much, but I've been the most successful in everything I've done. And that's because I'm always the first to try new things. You know, how fearless are you in trying new things that have never been done before? That's why you're entrepreneurs, right? You know, being able, you know, to fail multiple times and keep going because you believe. The only reason why you go back to do that event is because you believe. And because you know you've learned from your mistakes, you know what you can do better from what you've done wrong, you know how you can turn things around now, and how you can improve on these things. So those are the key things that I would say you should look into. You know, and you know, the rest, you know, will come into place.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So like, you just have to. I failed so much. I would say that again because when I started doing Afrobeats, I was the only one carrying the flag. I used to be at train stations giving out flyers.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be at shopping malls playing music and getting people to listen to Afrobeats, like forcing it into them.
Yeah.
And not to talk of how many times I've gone around London, east, west, south, north, outside of London to deliver tickets. You know, back then there was no social media or ticketing platforms to easily buy your tickets online, or there was no mobile phones, you know, like circulating like it is right now. So I used to do all of these things because I believed. I would drive around everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I was using, as long as I was seeing the results. I was seeing the growth.
Yeah.
A lot of people might not. But to see the world now dancing to Afrobeats and now interested in Afrobeats, and our Africans are now risen to like great positions. Our stars are now superstars, shutting down arenas and stadiums around the world. You know, that's greatness, and that's everything that it. Like I said, it's like you've just given a little 3-year-old boy a lollipop. So I'm dancing every day to see where we are right now, and that's because I never stopped. That's the greatest gift. Just continue.
The focus, but like now. Because I feel like even myself, when I was there, I felt focused. But it's even articulating how I'm feeling. Did you have like, who did you manage to speak to? Or was it just you have a word of yourself? Like on a practical day when it's dark. Is there a support?
Really dark, like, what's your support system look like?
Okay. I'll go first to when I was younger. To my recent backlash, which is from Afro Nation. So when I was younger, I used to have, I don't hang out with my friends. Or people that thought they were my friends.
Right.
Yeah. Because friends are just not, they're not going to help you in any way. They're competitions.
Okay.
So I hang out with people that are older than me. People that are willing to share their knowledge and experience in life with me. People I can learn from. So I hang out with older people. I have older friends. So in the midst of a group of people, I might be the youngest, but I'm learning from them. So that was me growing up. That was me helping my personal development. Right. But if you hang out with your friends back then in school, they'll probably be telling you, let's go play PS. Let's go play Xbox. Let's go play pool.
Why did you have to say?
The man that likes a PlayStation.
You see, there's time for everything. You know? Or they'll tell you, let's go meet some girls somewhere. Or so. Even though I threw club nights and I was throwing all of this, there was a message behind it.
Right.
You know, I don't drink. It's unbelievable because I've been doing this for almost 18 years.
Wow.
But I've managed to like discipline myself to know what I want. You know, and building the culture is just all over my head. And seeing where we are right now, the growth. You know, started from house parties. From house parties, I started doing concerts. The first Afrobeats festival in 2010 was by Smade, Cocoa Bar, and Phoenix Media. We had P Square, Wizkid. That was 13 years ago. And we sold out. We sold out HMV events in Mapolo back then. You know, and there was no going back. So we've done house parties, concerts, tours. I think at some point I started taking all the major artists that you see now, they're multi-superstars. I started taking them to different parts of the UK, Birmingham, Manchester, Dublin, and you know, from there the fan base grew, the listeners for Afrobeats grew, and everything just expanded.
I have a question before you move on. Was that one moment, because I'm sure you had it, that one moment when you saw an act come on stage and you saw the reaction, you knew it's a wrap, we're entering a new era?
So it's always been from those house parties, people coming on the microphone to rap. That gave me chills. That makes me happy. To the club, I remember Wizkid's first performance in the club. It was Governor Bar, you know, in London. You know, just about 300 people. and
Jeez.
everybody was screaming. That gave me chills. Like I get a lot of excitement seeing joy in people's faces. Not even just me putting the show together.
Yeah.
Just seeing the expression. Just seeing people spread love, dance, and celebrate themselves. That's the space we should always be in.
That's a very good answer.
Yeah.
That's a very good answer.
Your we might as well go here now. Your relationships that you fostered over the years, whether it be artists, whether it be people that you're on the grind with, when you're handing out flyers, doing events. Because I feel like at the moment that lack of personal skills is a big thing that I see in even like people in my family that are younger, purely because of the digital age.
Yeah.
And I feel like what I've learned from my retail jobs was that looking in someone's eye and being able to know how to navigate and talk to them from different ages. People walk in the shop, completely different genders, different creeds and doctrines.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shopping online is different from going to the
Exactly.
shop.
Yeah. So like, how did you use those skills to cultivate these relationships and maintain them over decades?
Yeah.
Like, what are some principles you use when it comes to maintaining, keeping people in your circle and in your life?
Relationships.
Yeah.
Know how to maintain relationships. I have customers from over 15 years. They're still my friends.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I've enjoyed building contacts from when I came to the UK. Like, I've been collecting stuff. Even when I was in school, I was taking pictures, keeping diaries, keeping notes, knowing where I was going.
Wow.
I've always been a diary guy. I keep diaries, I keep notes, I keep, I write lists of things that inspires me, and I pick on them one at a time, and I, go after them. So, to navigate your life, to create your life, is basically how you want it.
The people you want in it. Right?
So, I collect contacts.
Yeah.
I have my phone has got like the biggest contacts you can ever see in one man.
Yeah.
Because I have contacts of presidents. I think I met my first president in 2016. I took Wizkid to Gambia. For a show, a stadium show in Bakau Stadium. That was the first time I met a president. And then the following year I met another president, and I met another president. And the last president I met was Ghanaian president. So like I've been to number 10 several times for tea breaks. Appreciating their hard work and projecting African culture
So
and
makes
all of
me
that.
Smade.
No, there's time for that.
There's time for
There's
that.
time for that. Being a club promoter might also overshadow a lot of things because a lot of people misconstrue the personality, they misconstrue the lifestyle to something else, but they don't know who
Who's the man
is the
behind.
man. So being like I said, when you do club promotions, it's same, but that club promotion, it's the same thing that's contributed in building everything you see today. So there's no stopping it.
That's
So I train young people, to hold down the club nights. No, I'm not, but I go down to party and enjoy, and just profuse like greatness and positive vibes, and let people know that no matter where you are in life, you can always remain humble.
Humility is a theme.
You can always remain humble.
I want us to focus on music because your contributions in terms of building that bridge for musicians across Africa has been, the toast of your career. Having met all these different artists and all these different individuals, what are some of the features or factors that you see in young upcoming musicians that make you know this guy, he's up next, there's something about him? There's something about this guy.
So I think I have part of my gift is being able to see and know who is going to be great, and that's from picturing the energy, the passion, the drive that person has. And that some people are not even really talented, but they are very hardworking. And that's what drives me. Like there's room to learn to be better. Do you understand? So once I see that drive in that person, I automatically want to be involved, and I want to help. I want to use my resources for that person. And that's how I have seen every single artist I've promoted. And in 2018, I think I did about 17 shows 5 years ago.
Wow.
In 1 year, from Diamond Platinum, Olamide, Files the Bad Guy, YC, Yemi Alade, Nasty C, Afro Republic, Davido UK Tour, Tiwa Savage, Adekunle Gold, Mologo from the UK.
Don't stop.
Your whole
You
chart.
know,
The charts.
Simaya.
Yeah.
I even did comedy shows. Bobby, I did Kenny Black. You know, I did Simi.
Yeah.
You know, I was just doing the shows back to back because I wanted to be the African Live Nation.
Yeah.
And that's how, at the end of that year, we announced Afro Nation and it was sold out real quick. So it's from bringing different fans out and bringing different clientele out, people that have not seen the beauty of this music industry coming out, you know, forcing it into them and getting them out to, and then, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of work went down. I like to give props to every single soldier out there, you know, because it's not only me.
Yeah.
It's a team effort.
Yeah.
You have to respect that. You have to see and give kudos and props to those that were carrying that flag before me. Because there's been a lot of great people that have been trying to do this the same way I'm doing. I'm just doing it differently.
Yeah.
So I always respect those people. I always award them. I always give them their, you know, their praise because they are part of the things that inspired all of us. You know, so it's just a different channel that or a different level that we have just injected into it, and that's what's gotten us.
You're also a father.
That's what I was thinking.
I was like,
that's
because
exactly what I
there's
was
7
thinking.
days. There's 7 days.
No, I'm like, okay.
That's fine.
You're doing these back-to-back shows.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And one of the interviews we had was with a senior counsel lawyer, and he was telling us that one of the things that if you're not careful when you're chasing such a high level of success that can suffer is family.
Your personal life.
Yes, and your personal life. So how do you keep that in balance? And how do you manage yourself to be a fantastic father? And while you're still in the scene and so productive, how do you stay balanced to deliver on both fronts? Because you brought in a new child into the world.
Yeah. So everyone goes through stuff in life. Whatever you go through, you should hold on to it as your lesson, either positive or negative. My mom and dad had a failed marriage, coming from a very big polygamous family. Like I said, 13 kids. So I've always grown up around kids and understanding family values, understanding culture, understanding what it means to be a father, what it means to bring a child to this life. You know, not everybody understands that. So I am in a great position to understand that because of my process and what I've been through in life. So being a father, I'm grateful, I'm thankful. I've once lost a child before, 13 years ago. So, well, I thank God that He's blessed me with 4. So I'm sold out at work. I'm sold out at home. When I leave work from all of these meetings and back-to-back projects and stuff like that, and I get home, I'm very busy because I've got a 10-year-old, I've got a 9-year-old, I've got an 8-year-old son, and my daughter is 2. I've got 3 daughters and a son, so I'm very, very busy because they all need their attention. And I've got a beautiful wife.
Yeah, hello.
That is
that is the kid.
A queen that knows how to put me in charge.
Yeah.
I think when you respect home,
Yeah.
you'll respect everything outside.
I'm trying to understand this because when we were here, we've seen there's 2 phones you're working with, right? There's 2 phones, and like if you're coming from such a busy day and you get into the house, what happens when it comes to the phone? There's a club night happening. What happens with the relationships outside that you have to maintain? The presidents,
can you see me
superstars?
signing?
Yeah.
So,
How do you?
with business now, I'm managed to I'm working with a great team.
Right.
There's a lot of people now working around me or colleagues that know where to step in.
Right.
You know, I put a lot of people in position to handle stuff that I cannot, you know, or when I cannot.
Yeah.
So when I do go home, things are still okay.
Right.
Do you understand? Because you just have to mentor a lot of young ones and put them in position. So I've done that, and I'm okay. I can lean back and spend time with my kids and wife. Even though it's just limited, I still make my mark. Knowing I work and at home. So the same energy you see online on social media, you might not see the personal side of me, but I give the same energy at home. Keeping relationships within the family, keeping relationship within your siblings, within your parents, your elders, and then your kids. And I'm very close to these kids because not just my kids. I went to see an old school friend yesterday, and her daughter was all over me till I left her. And that gives me great joy to see that these are the future. How can we let them understand? How can we teach them? How can we? And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. Because you want your story to be told in a great light, and for people to hear it. You might have heard so much negative stuff. People trying to slander me or trying to bring me down, which is normal. It comes with every greatness. So it's how you come back from it to be able to tell your story that matters.
Well, you've been telling your story well, my friend. I'll give you that.
So I thank God for everything. I'm glad you guys actually came here, and I'm excited for the results of this.
Because that's the final stretch. We want to find out about the goal of the future, what that looks like. Because at the moment you've made thousands and thousands of people dance, have a good time. You brought them music, you brought them artists, you brought joy to so many people. But what's the overarching goal?
The goal is for Africa to be number one in everything. I've said that multiple times. To impact Africa in Africa and Africans in diaspora, to wake everybody up to understand their position and empower everybody else around them. Spread love, continue to spread love, and let's keep working at it and put ourselves in greater positions. That's that, and it's not just for the music. I know, like, you see my face around the music. I've been a video vixen. I've been a camera. Watch Babanla. Have you seen Babanla? Wizkid Babanla? Yeah, I'm the Babanla in the video. I'm the video vixen.
You know nice though.
Yeah. Babanla is a video we shot on a very important day in my life. And that song now is still very hot in the clubs, and for a very long time it was number one. I've done with Davido, I've done with KC, I've done with Olamide, I've featured in a lot of them. DJ Spino. So like
Yeah, he is a video.
DJ Spino. That was a song he sang with Tiwa Savage and Wizkid. So many more stuff like I've been a part of. I've worked the runway for African Fashion Week.
The drip is dripping.
Come on.
Tell you that. Smade is written on the side of his face.
Listen, it's the process. Remember where you're coming from. I remember being a retail store salesman. I've been a supervisor, I've been assistant manager to manager. So how can you see that in me? It's by my appearance, is by what I do. Having Smade shades, having my own beret style. I have Selfmade in collaboration with the likes of David Wedge, an African brand on Oxford Street. I just find a way to remember where I'm coming from and use that to infuse where we're going.
Guys, I'm gonna need his gift now. It's been labeled.
So the beauty of it all to see Africa becoming great. And we need to continue to what you're doing here is very, very important to the culture. I have to say that.
Thank you.
Because we can't tell our stories without yourselves. So the creatives, the men behind the cameras, yourself, myself, there's a bunch of creatives, and we have different gifts, different talents. When God blesses, I said it earlier, God blesses you with one, understand that when you serve with that gift properly, it gives room for you to be blessed with more.
Amen. Amazing. Now, Smade, in my hand I have, I don't know if you can see it. It's a, it's a video. It's a I have a very, very, very important gift to give you. Of course,
Wow.
you can't come here empty-handed.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can't. We have been always. Even us, it's about service.
You've been hydrated.
Yeah, you've been hydrated.
You're serving me now.
You've
Full
taken
circle.
good care of us
Okay.
since we came in, and this is called the Umoja ring.
I'm excited.
Umoja in Swahili means unity.
Emoji.
Umoja.
Umoja. In Swahili,
In Swahili. Umoja
means
unity.
unity.
So it is an African continent ring, the continent of Africa. So we are trying to unify the continent of Africa, bring everyone together. And since you've been such a token of that vision, and such a token of music and African culture, Umutoni is an African brand, African jewelry brand, that everything is handmade
Wow.
from scratch,
Wow.
Yeah.
from home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you see the new blings on me
Yeah.
or the new
You already
jewelry, know that it's, I've been blessed.
Everything
Yeah.
handmade in Africa.
Thank you.
So,
And the guys that make it.
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
there you go, my
Can
friend.
I open it here?
Yes,
Absolutely,
you
yeah.
can.
Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
So there's the card.
Yeah.
So the card
That's for
reads,
you.
Dear Smade, we hope you love your new Umoja ring. Umoja means unity in Swahili. Your new ring is handmade with love. I love that.
Yeah.
By the best, I think I can't say it.
Artisans.
Oh, artisans
Yeah.
in Kenya.
Yeah.
Love
Umutoni.
Mutoni and team.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mutoni.
Yeah.
I love it, and I can't wait to meet you guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate this.
Yeah, man. There you
Okay,
go.
let me see
she's
my ring.
She's empowered guys from slums in Kenya
Wow.
to have the skill to make this
See
kind
how
of jewelry.
beautiful this is.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I love this.
That's
yeah.
for you, buddy.
So,
Guys,
mm.
please patronize Umoji.
Umoja.
Umoja.
Umoja. For sure, for
Umoja.
sure. Yeah.
I'll do a drop for Umoja
There you go.
after this. Let me
Yeah.
just try my ring first.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank
There you
you.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll try the big one.
Try
Wow.
Gorgeous, gorgeous,
Ooh,
gorgeous.
strong.
There it is. There it is.
Hey.
It looks good. It looks
Umoja.
correct. Yeah, there we go.
Umoja. It means
Yeah,
unity.
unity.
And this is
unity.
everything I've always wanted to bring African unity,
Mm.
you know, to unite everyone, Africans and the rest of the world, you know, to give atmosphere and vibes and
Yeah.
the aura of our beauty,
Mm.
you know, because Africa is really
Yeah.
beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
see my Umoja.
Yeah. Smade, thank you.
Look at these great
Yeah.
guys.
Thank
Where's
you.
the camera?
Yeah.
Look at these
Thank
great
you so
guys.
much, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming to me. Thank
Yeah.
you for allowing us into your home.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
This is what we meant to have. This is what we meant to. It's a dream.
It feels right.
It's
It
a
feels
dream,
so
man.
right.
And please continue inspiring.
I
us.
really appreciate you guys,
Man.
and don't stop what you're doing
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.
No matter how small you see it,
Mm.
it's adding value to where we are going.
Exactly.
So you guys are key to what
Mm.
you know we're about to become.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you,
man.
Eli.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oscar,
Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, guys.
So we
to
hope
the
you-
rest of the team,
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys so much. Don't say it. I remember their name. Archie,
Yeah.
Judge.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
There we go. That's that retail training. You know, everyone's name.
You gotta
Everyone's
know.
name.
Everyone
Everyone's
who's watching this from home, remember to like, share, subscribe.
name.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast
Half as much.
as we enjoy making
Please watch and share.
it. Yeah. Oh.
See you next week, guys.
See you next week, guys.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you
Alright,
guys.
cheers.
Nah, dude,
Thanks,
that was
bro.
amazing.